Hi, I'm Alex Klansko. I'm here with Parker Kligerman, driver of the number 77 Spire Motorsports car. So, Parker, you've been racing since 2008 and have been in media since 2014. How has both of those roles helped the other?
Well, I'm going to date myself even further. I started go-karting in '02 and started cars in '05. So
Oh my
a little
God. Okay, a
further
little
back than
further
that.
back. Okay.
Man, probably the stuff that you'd find records of would be '08.
Yeah.
And then, the media side was kind of out of necessity when I made it to Cup, and then the team I was at folded and all that drama that went on around with that. So, I think it's both have complemented each other. I think the media game kept me and gave me more longevity in this than I probably would have had without it. But the driving side has always been the passion, what is drawn me to racing, and it's the thing I've wanted to do. And I'm now in a different phase where it's kind of picking and choosing. But when there's opportunities like this to drive for Spire, Lime Rock, a road course, like this is so cool. I'm having a blast.
All right. You've raced for teams like Penske, KBM, Brad Kozlowski Racing, and Junior Motorsports, just to name a few. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from those teams?
A lot. Each one has its different, you know, anecdotes and particular part like wisdom that you gain from it, right? Like Penske, for me, I call it my college tuition, college, because I was like 17, 18 years old when I joined Penske and I left at 22. And, that was a very, I guess, formative time in my life, right? To be that young at such a serious organization and everything I learned from getting to be around a guy like Roger Penske who's so successful in everything he touches. And so there's a lot of work ethic style things I think that came out of that experience. And then, from BKR to KBM, it was being so closely associated with a current Cup driver and what they were, how they operated on both sides of that. So that was really interesting. And then JRM, I feel like, that was such a quick deal, but it was fun and it was super cool and an honor to drive for Junior and to win at Daytona for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and be in Victory Lane with him was a memory that I will absolutely never forget because I think, as a young kid growing up, it's like you're a big fan of him and there's, the Earnhardt Association of Daytona and everything he's accomplished there. And to win that race with him was just so cool.
All right. At the 2025, speaking of your Daytona race, at the 2025 Fall Daytona race in the Xfinity Series, you came in relief of Connor Zilic and drove from last to first and took the win. What was going through your mind when you realized you had a shot at the win?
Um, Not a lot, weirdly, because I had felt like when I got the call, I turned to my girlfriend Shannon. And I was like, "I'm gonna win this race," and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm gonna win this race." And so I just had this. I don't know why. I just had this feeling the whole time that it was sort of gonna happen, and it was just there was no way it wasn't. And when we got to the front late in the race, I I just sort of was in the mode of like, you're just going to make all the right moves and it's all going to click and work. And I talk about this often, super speedways, which I call the end of the race, call it the last 5 laps. I call the red zone, especially if you're at the front of the field racing for the win, where you go into like another zone of making moves and everything just has to work and those moves have to click and they're happening in such rapid fashion that you're not reacting, you're predicting in some respects, and you're in just such a flow state. And so in those final laps of that race, that's exactly where I was. I have to always go back and watch the race to even remember what I did because they'll be like, "What about this move?" And I'm like, "I don't remember it. Don't know. Couldn't tell you. I just did it." So that was one of those times where like you get to the red zone or super speedway race, you just got to lock in, operate at a high level, and then sort of hope that it all went the right way.